My name is Dan Evelyn, and I'm the creator of Weaver Cafe. Before we get into the demo, I just want to give you some quick background information. I enjoy writing various kinds of fiction, and I have been looking for a way to get organized, and stay motivated. And I tried a bunch of tools, apps for mobile and desktop. Some of them were pretty expensive, and none of them really fit for me. So, as a full-time developer, I decided to build my own website to do this rather than try to build an app. So I can work on it from anywhere. I have access to a browser and an internet connection. Also, I tend to grab a lot of images off sites like Pinterest and use them as inspiration for some character or location. That really helps me visualize and organize different people and places and keep them consistent. Because of that, you may notice there are plenty of places to put imagery into your project. None of these are required. To be clear, the end result of this are words, text, and some basic formatting. This is not an image library or a way to manage artwork, in the final piece or anything like that. And then finally, one of my big concerns is privacy. I don't want anyone to see my rough ideas and raw drafts until I'm ready. And I specifically put it somewhere like an email or a document to share. So this is a single user, secure site using the latest SSL stuff. No one can see what you've created. Even if you send them a link to something from the website, they cannot see it. No search engines will ever be indexing content. There's no analytics that's tracking your clicks. There's no external libraries for the techies out there. The JavaScript and fonts and stuff are all running local. The only thing I have is a spam control that scans the contact form and the new user registration and checks it against the database of spammers. So, and once you're logged in, though, even that goes away. So I want you to feel comfortable in writing on here. I am, that no one else is going to see it. And on to the demo. Okay, now we're going to get into the demo. Our demonstration in this video is going to be divided in three sections. All right, so first we're going to log in, which is not any of the three sections. And here we're immediately presented with basically being scolded that we haven't done anything yet. And so our demonstration is going to be into three sections. One are the resources. A resource is a note, some image, a link, something that you find that inspires you or you want to keep track of. It's not ordered into chapters or anything like that for a project. It's just things that you want to keep. Then there are projects, which is the structured portion of the site. And that could be for screenplays, adventures, for role-playing games, comic strips, novels, pretty much any fictional thing. And then on the final part of our demonstration, we're going to go a little bit deeper into some things called folders and how you can rearrange content. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is talk about and create some resources. So to start or create a resource, you click create resource. And this is going to bring up, basically a blank form. So as I mentioned, a resource can be anything like links and text, ideas you can jot down, stuff that you want to keep track of. It might be about a particular subject, right? In this case, we're going to create one that we want to have an adventure in a campground without cell service, right? So I say that would be cool, right? Somewhere out in the middle of the boonies. So as we go down, there's a primary image. Just about everything in the system can have a primary image, and this is just what's going to pop up when you're looking at your work. It is definitely, not required, um, but it's something that can come in handy. I like it because if I find it, it kind of gives me some inspiration. So I've actually stayed at a campground without any sort of cell service, and I didn't like it one bit. But it was the Cherokee National Forest um, area. Let's go ahead and go to this link. It's the Tellico River area. So if I'm thinking about, I want to have a story somewhere, it's going to be in the middle of nowhere. I Google around, I do a web search, I find something, and then I got information. I got an area map, right? So I go to this area map and I'll save that. And then I got this little thing that they hand out when you go there, and I'll grab that. And this looks like a cool picture. I'll just grab that. Right. This is cool. And I'll grab the URL as well. Right. So back in our resource, we can have a primary image. Very nice. You just drag it in there. If an upload button appears, you upload it. We can add some other images in there as we go. Files, we can grab those PDFs that we saw. Here's one. Here's two. And we'll upload those. And then we'll go ahead and put in the link that we saw and label it, right? Because this is like meaningless, right? So we'll say Tellico River area, which is in the Cherokee National Forest. So we'll put Cherokee National Forest, Tellico River area, right? So then it has like some meaning to this. And we're going to talk about folders in the third part of this. So I'm just going to add some more images, right? There might be, you cruise around on the web, or you go to, Wikipedia, Wikimedia, or something like that, and you may find like cool other images that you have that'll inspire you as you look at as you're writing. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. So now we've created this resource, right? Whenever you're looking at something, if it's included in another thing, like a part of a project or something, it's going to tell you. At this point, no, it's just floating around. And we have the primary image. We got these additional images. This one's really nice. It's like really big. This is the resource that we have. All the resources that we have are going to be in this list, right? And this is going to show the most recent things that you've worked on. Right? So I'm going to put some notes in here too. Now, for this demonstration, okay, I'm going to use a text generator. Nobody wants to see me type too much. I'm slow and I misspell a lot. So you plop it in here. Thundercats. So now there's also a summary. A summary is what you see when you're looking at a listing of elements, right, and items that you have created. If there's no summary, it's just going to take the top certain number of characters. I think it's like 600 characters. It's going to make it a summary. But if there's something that maybe there's a purpose for it, right? And I'm going to just say this is a perfect place for a bad guy to hang out, right? This kind of like just sort of how to me the summary is how it fits in, sort of a one-line thing about it, right? What I want beside the title. Later, we're going to see where this summary shows up. But again, if you don't put it in, it's okay. It's just going to take a big top of your text here. So we'll go ahead and save this. All right. And we have now created a resource. All right. So now we have created a resource, and what we're going to do next is dig into a project, which is the more structured part of the site where you'll be actually creating, the final text. All right. So first, we're going to create a project, and there's lists down here, some explanation for it, stuff like that. Create one, and we're going to call this the terror in the. Oh, look! I already put in a couple options in the woods. All right, and this is going to be a family goes to the woods to escape technology. At least the mom does. And bond as a family. Okay, actually, I think it would be a widow brings her family to the woods. Thank you. Bond, not bind, it's kind of strange. All right, so now we're going to do this, and I'm going to put some text in here. Again, I'm just automatically generating text. Hong Kong Phooey, that is funny. And so the project gets, like just about anything else, a picture, right? So uh, you can change it or whatever. I like this picture. I think it's cool. I think that's a very cool picture. And then we get into sections, right? So the sections are like chapters or acts in a play or whatever, however you want to divide up your particular project, right? So if it's a novel, it might have an introduction, right? Maybe a forward before that. And then we're going to have chapters, right? So go camping, right? Will be the R1. How about no one wants to go camping, right? Right, like, implying the girls, her daughters don't want to go. All right, so no one wants to go camping, and then but they go, and then there's a mysterious stranger that they meet, right? Then they come across a crashed spaceship, which leads them to a mad scientist's lab, because it just does. Should that be capitalized? So, and then they're going to have an unexpected friend, right? Like a friendly alien or something like that. And then we're going to go, and then they're going to escape at the end, right? Because everyone lives happily ever after, except the mad scientist and the one who crashed in the spaceship, right? Those don't. So now in the project, you can put characters. You can also put characters, and locations into each section. What I do is put the main characters, right? The characters that are going to be in just about every section, I would put in the project. I mean, that's just how I do it. You can try it different ways, see which way you like, right? So we're gonna have Mom, we're gonna have Susan, we're gonna have Sally, and we're gonna have Max the dog. There's various locations. Probably the main, everything's going to take place in the campground, right? Pretty much, or in the Cherokee National Forest, right? And we can add that resource to that if we want to. So we'll hit save. And now we have this cool project that we're going to work on, right? It's got characters and locations, right? And those are listed here as well. And so what we're going to do is now go through and just throw some text, right? We might have some ideas how they fit into the story, and for each one of the characters. So we'll start with Mom, and we'll put this in the summary. But again, if you don't put a summary, it's just going to take the first part of the body. And if there's not that, it's just going to leave it blank, which is fine. So the summary, this is a loving mother who is trying to bond with her girls, who would rather play on their phones. All right, period. And we're going to give Mom a picture. This is totally a picture. That's totally Mom. And then we're going to go ahead and write up some more details about Mom and hit save. Now this shows that Mom is in Terror in the Woods. If she was also specific to a section, it would show that, right? So we're going to go to Terror in the Woods, and now there's a picture appears there. We're just going to go to Susan, and we're going to say Susan is a pessimist whose only friend is her iPhone, which is really, really sad. That is so sad. But, obviously this is going to change. She'll grow as a character, etc., etc. So now we're going to go and pick a picture. That looks like a Susan to me. Susan, that is Susan. All right, next we'll go back to Terror in the Woods, and we'll go to Sally. Optimist, right, because they're generally opposites, who is fixated on all things related to donuts. right? She has like little donut pillows and a little donut thing, plastic little donuts hanging from her phone. And we're going to do some text. We're going to grab a picture of Susan, or excuse me, Sally. And that looks great. So we'll go back to Tara in the Woods, and finally we have Max the dog. Okay, Max is loyal, good dog, right? He would love to hear that, I would think. All right, we're going to go ahead and grab some text. I got a picture of a dog. I got lots of pictures. I should have a really good picture. Here we go. It's even in the woods. Dog in the woods. In Wood Save. So now when we go back to, and over here, just to show you here, it shows us, the things that we've done in the list. I think it shows the last 5 items. So here's Tara in the Woods. If we go to character, it shows their name and that little summary, right, that we gave. So we can, at a glance, see how these characters fit into the project. We can see a picture of them to inspire us. And the same kind of thing can be done with the location, right? So we're going to here to the location, and here we're going to connect that resource that we created, right? So now it'll be associated. If you type something in and it exists, you pick it. If you type something in that doesn't already exist, it'll create it for you, right? Remote park, national park, with no cell service, right? We gotta just keep harping that in. It's like the gimmick. And we'll say, okay, some information about this, whatever that is, maybe a little bit more information, and we'll do a picture. Like, okay, so location. Let's go ahead and just do like this is like the campground, right? We gotta have tents, and if you see the upload button, you gotta hit upload. There's the tents, TENTS. Hit save. So now we have the National Cherokee National Forest campground without cell service as a resource. We go here. There's all the stuff, right, that we did. The pictures. We can look at it and be inspired. We can jump back to here, maybe do some writing here if we want, or jump back to the project. But when you're in something, like that location, it tells you it's in Tara in the Woods. If it was in a section, you would see it, right? Just like so. Now we have location and characters. To the final product, once and you can edit all this stuff, rearrange things, right? Add more detail. Like for example, I'm just gonna say, okay, I found this like really cool image of like a burning spaceship, right? So I'm gonna grab this picture of a burning spaceship, unless I lost it. No, here it is. Burning spaceship, right? Crash spaceship, and this one's gonna have a dying alien, right? So this section has its own character. Maybe even a spaceship, right? Spaceship, right? Maybe that they might go in and explore, right? So we might want to put some information about the spaceship, right? Whatever. Oh, and it's in a ravine. Yes, it's in a ravine, a very specific ravine. Oh, I almost forgot to click upload. Don't forget to click upload. And so here we go. I'm not going to bother with any text. We hit save. So crash spaceship, dying alien. We go in a dying alien and say, what about my dying alien? He's not a bad guy, right? Like he does something for the characters, right? He tells or gives them some item that they need later, right? So we don't want him to be too scary. And so here's an alien. Look, he's smiling. That means he's cool. Was lured, L-U-R-E-D, to this place by a signal sent by the mad scientist. I'm still not sure if I should cap it. Yeah, it looks better, lowercase. All right, so we're going to have a little bit of text about this guy, person here, who knows, and hit save. So now we go to the crash spaceship. Crash spaceship. Probably should have a picture of a crash spaceship instead of one that's on fire in the atmosphere. That's okay. This happened before. And then we'll go to the ravine, right? And here we might just grab a picture of, that picture we used before, right? But it could be in a ravine, whatever, gets the point across, right? And we don't need any more information right now. All right, so that's the ravine crash spaceship. Characters, location, boom. You can see it here as well. Ravine, lure, right? Jump to it, add more information to it if you want. Like the spaceship, you might want to add deck plans, right? If they're going to go and explore it, or pictures of the inside of the spaceship, stuff like that, just to inspire you as you go. So that's Terror in the Woods. Over here, you can see your completed project. I can say I'm going to go and show all my sections, right? And then all my characters. Oh, I didn't put any real text for the sections today. But so here I was like, wow, that looks kind of bare. So, this is where it will take all the characters that you have and then in the order, right, that they are in the project, and then display them, right? If you want to copy and paste this somewhere, like here's the characters for my thing, here's my locations that it's going to take place in. But the most important one, right, is your sections. So if we had Terror in the Woods, no one wants to go camping, we'll go to edit that just to show, this actually works. And this area here looks kind of small, but it will expand, and it can, you can have 5 paragraphs or 500 pages, it doesn't matter. This will be able to handle it, and you see the cool toolbar stays at the top, no matter how far down the page you have to go to type. It's really nice, and it has some basic Hong Kong food. It has some basic formatting. I didn't want, you don't want to get too deep into the formatting, right? But you might need some stuff, right? Strike through for editing, that kind of stuff, right? And we'll save that. And now when we go to Terror in the Woods and we look at the complete project sections, there it is, right? So it's going to show all your text. So it's going to be big, right? But this is what you could print to a PDF, or copy and paste into Word or something like that. This is the end result. So that is a project. The next section is going to go over things called folders and go a little deeper into reorganizing and organizing and reorganizing your stuff. Hi. Now we're going to go over some deeper areas here, some ideas, concepts of having orphan content that's not associated with a particular project, to show how you can create things in really any order that you want, right? So there's an area up here at the top called all content, and this shows, everything that we've created so far. It shows the usages in one, right? Things can be in more than one place, if you wanted to, right? Like for example, if we wanted to go back into Terror in the Woods and say, okay, the crashed spaceship, the dog gets hurt. Oh no! So here we could edit this, and we can add Max to this particular section if we wanted to, because he plays a big role, right, in this. I'm just making that up, but yeah. So Terror in the Woods, crashed spaceship now has Max as one of the characters, right? And if I go into here, I'm going into the same place as if I went into Terror in the Woods and went into Max the dog as well. So you make changes in one area, and it's going to reflect throughout the whole thing, right? Now, it is also possible to create items that are not linked to a particular project. So you can be on any page you want. You go to create character, right? And this is a mad scientist. I think you can see where I'm going with this, but likes to collect stuffed aliens, preserved aliens, right? Something like that. It's creepy. Preserved. Okay. So we'll give him some text. He deserves a lot of text. Most villains are usually the most interesting character. So now we'll go to find a mad scientist picture. I'm pretty sure I got like pretty good. Okay, this works. That looks that looks like Darth Vader, but that's okay. So here's our mad scientist, right? And he has a lab, right? So we might want to put some things in there about his lab, like right, like the zoo of aliens and whatever that he has might deserve its own resource. So we've created this character and we've created a resource. If we go back to all content, it shows here the mad scientist is not used anywhere. And but the resource we created is, right, because it's connected to something. As long as it's connected to something, it has a usage, right? But this one does not have a usage. So if you say, okay, I want to just, and it's very simple, you can totally work like this if you want. You can create tons of characters and locations and things, and you can always get to them through here, right? Or search. Now, search takes a few minutes to index everything. Like if you create something and then immediately try and search for, mom, it may not find. Okay, well, it did find, but there is a delay. Like mad scientist is probably not going to be is not going to be found. Yeah, just the lab that we, which is the section, right? Mad scientist. So there is a delay, just so you know. Anyway, so here's the mad scientist. Now we're going to go ahead and connect him to a section in the project, which is the mad scientist lab, right? You got to meet the mad scientist in the mad scientist lab, right? So we're going to add the character here, right? So that's just a way that you can, you gotta have a picture. You can't, I have this thing where I want an inspiring picture for. I want to be able to visualize what's going on. He keeps a clean lab, so when it says upload, you have to click upload. All right, so here's the clean mad scientist lab. Here's the mad scientist that's here. Very cool. Shows here mad scientist likes to collect preserved aliens, right? That kind of stuff. So it's a this one is in this location. Or this is a section. Mad scientist lab has a character of mad scientist, right? Mad scientist has a resource of more information on his lab. You could put this like connect this to the section of the lab. Yeah, that'd be more like this is his. How about his quarter or his personal collection? It's this like really depraved, super weird personal collection of alien stuff. Oh, I love that. That's cool. Anyway, so he's a mad scientist, and he has his personal collection. He is discovered in the mad scientist lab, right? Which is in Terror in the Woods. So you can go to all content to see everything you've created. This list is going to get pretty long. That's okay. You can filter down by location if you want. All right. And then the last thing that we're going to go over are things called folders, all right, which can be in a resource, right? So let's say his personal collection has like, he keeps live aliens in his personal collection, right? So we're going to edit this and we're going to create a folder, right, which is just a way of collecting things, right? We're going to create a folder and we're going to call it aliens, right? Aliens. So, in some stories like this one, there's not a lot of characters, right? But in some, you're going to have a ton, right? You could have a lot of different characters in a comic book where there's superheroes and a superhero group, and then there's bad guys and all kinds of stuff. You could have a lot of different things. Also, keep in mind that these things are cross projects, right? So, if you have a whole season of a comic book, all the bad guys are going to show up under all content. So, excuse me, I keep hitting the wrong button. All content, um, but they'll only show up in the project you assign them to. But anyway, you might want to have folders, right? Like a villain folder or something like that, where you can collect them all in one place. So we're going to go to aliens. We're going to edit this. Now, I do want to show one more thing. Sorry. So a resource has the folder, right? Uh, a folder. excuse me, can have items in it. They cannot create items. It's the only place you cannot create things. You have to create them through here, right? So we're going to create a character, and this is the biter alien, right? Biter, right? He bites a lot for any reason. Okay, so here we're going to go to grab a picture of some sort of biting alien with a lot of teeth. This guy has a lot of teeth, right? Oh yeah, look at that. Overbite. He needs some work done. So biter, he bites for any reason, right? Hit save. All right. Then we're going to create another character, and his horns, the horned one, the horned alien. It's not horny. He's horned. Likes to hit things with his horn. Like to stab things. That's the whole point of the horn. All right, so and then we're gonna have an image. I'm pretty sure I got. Oh yeah, look at this one. Those are horns. Woof. And we'll hit save. All right. So now, and then we'll maybe have. And that's enough, right? So anyway, we'll go back and dig our way through, right? So we'll go to all content. Right? And so we'll go to the mad scientist. He's got his personal collection of aliens. We'll go into here, and then we'll add in items, right? The biter and the horny one. Horned aliens, save. All right. So now there's these aliens, right? So we go to his personal collection. We can expand the folder out like that. So this will first show the folders, and any folder that has something will expand out as well. You can only go one layer, but this should be enough. So that's the basic of folders, right? It's the basics of folders. So you use them to organize things. They can either exist in a project, or you can just create them from here. And now if we go to all content, everything is used associated with something. Not that it's not bad to have something unassociated. You just might forget about it. Right. So that's the way we've gone over. That's where you can create characters and things outside of in a project, and this is all content is how you can find things that are not associated with a particular character or excuse me, section or project or resource. All right. That's the last of this, and I hope you find the site useful. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you.